when reading in decimal data that is fixed width in particular, we need to take a few extra considerations. So here what I have is some data open. I'm using Notepad++, but you can use whatever text editor you want. And I have a column for ID. I have two draws. I have an average of the two draws, and I have a character column indicating level. And I can see by looking at it that this is a fixed width format data because there is a single space separating these columns, whereas there's a double space separating the level from the other variables. So to read that into SPSS, we're going to kind of take a little bit of an extra step here. So we're going to use a data list command and specify the file path here. We're going to list out our variables and which columns they are occupying. So ID, draw 1, draw 2, an average, and the level. Notice that level, since it's a string variable, we have to put a parenthetical A after it. So SPSS knows that it's a string. If we don't include that, it'll get rather grumpy. And then we end with an execute. So if we run this, we get our data window to show up here. There we go. But if we look at it, we see, okay, we have our variables. The numeric ones are numeric, the strings are strings. But wait a second, where did our decimals go? Right? They seem to have disappeared. The thing is, if we were to just leave it like this, SPSS will only take the numbers to the left of the decimal point. What we need to do is, shrink this, is add a formats command. So this is a separate standalone command. And we have to kind of specify that, well, wait a second, these are actually, these numbers have decimals that I would like you to please display. And so we're using F to indicate a numeric. This 1 is saying it has one, it takes up one column and it does not have any decimals. Draw 1, on the other hand, here, if you remember, here's draw 1. So it takes up 4 columns, so 1, 2, 3, and 4, and has a single decimal space that we're trying to capture. So it takes up 4 columns, and this one has a number after the decimal, just a single number. Same thing for draw 2. For draw 3, or for the average of them, it takes up 5 columns, and we're interested in 2 numbers after the decimal. And then level, again, it's a string that takes up 1 column. Since strings can't have decimals, really, we don't have to specify that. So if we were to run this and reopen our data window, we see that, okay, our decimals are now back how we anticipated them to be, and then we can move on. That's one of the reasons that it's important when you read in data to take a peek at it, just to make sure that it read in like you were expecting it to.